Okay, that was a good game. Okay, next we have a Thaddeus game. This will be slightly higher level. Thaddeus didn't say anything. This game was played yesterday in round one in the Indiana Team Chess Championship. Thaddeus is white, and his opponent, and Thaddeus's USCF rating is 1637, although he's obviously stronger than that. And his opponent's rating is 2136. And the time control is game 60, increment 10. Good job, tensor extension. Your opponent's 10 years old. Man, the truth hurts. Okay, so you're white. So far, you haven't done anything wrong. I've never seen the move h3. I've seen castles, d4, and knight c3. I've never seen h3. I'm sure h3 is your secret illegal prep. I've just never seen it. Okay, he played knight f6. That's legal. d3, bishop d6. Okay, pretty boring position. Good. Good to play boring against a 10-year-old. These moves are all good. Okay, and he played the aggressive f5. You took, which is correct. Rook takes. Bishop e3. It's not a bad move. Queen e7. Okay, now in this position, since you played bishop e3, it's definitely time to play knight to d2 because you'd like to play knight e4. So after knight d2, the engine says you're up about 0.7. It likes white's position because black has this isolated pawn. But you played queen e2, which is okay. Now it says after e4, it's equal. He played rook a f8, which is okay. This is okay. This is okay. And you played knight to d4, which the engine does not like at all. It wants you to play either knight d2 or bishop d4. The reason is black is going to play queen e5 and threaten checkmate. If you play knight f1, knight d2, then you have knight f1 to ward off checkmate. And if you play bishop d4, then you're pinning the pawn and attacking it. So either one of those moves gives you a very slight advantage. Now after knight d4, queen e5, the engine likes black. Black's threatening checkmate in two moves. Okay, so you played g3. That's what I would play. Rook f6. Yeah, now your knight can't go anywhere, and your h-pawn is weak, and he can attack it with his queen and his rook. Queen f1 gets a bit passive, but all right. c5 is good. Knight e2. Then he just takes the queen side, and your queen side's finished. All your queenside pawns are lost. Queen a4. Okay, that makes sense. Rook takes b7. Man, f3 is weak. Yeah, this isn't good. Knight d2 is an amazing move. Because if you take it, rook takes f2 and e3 check is crushing. But you did take it. See, here's how you know if your opponent's cheating. Okay? If your opponent's not cheating, they play e takes d2. Your opponent played e takes d2 because he's not cheating. If he was cheating, he would play queen d7, threatening queen h3 mate. And then after g4, the only logical move, because queen h3 mate is annoying, then queen f7, threatening queen f3 mate. Now there are no logical moves for white, so you could resign, but okay. And what he did wins, but queen d7 is the engine move. And this is still completely winning. Hey, play queen d7, good move. Rook f3 is a good move. Queen c4 is a good move. Rook d3 is a good move. If only you were threatening mate. But he can always play bishop f8. And he did. Now he only has one winning move, which he played. If he plays queen d6, then white wins with queen f7 check and mate. But he found the only winning move, rook f3. And that's the end of your counterplay. And then you resigned. Well, he played very well. I don't know if he's actually 10, but probably. So the key position in the game was here, and your next 5 moves were bad. Queen e2 is not a good move. And then rook d1 is okay, actually. And then in this position, you have to play bishop d4 or knight d2. Now my question is, in this position, this is my question. The engine gives this. It says after knight g3, it's equal, or bishop d4. I guess after bishop d4, you're winning his e-pawn. And then your bishop is really good. And then bishop d4 is a good alternative. The engine actually prefers white here because of this nice pin. I mean, when I say prefers, like 0.2, like slightly prefers. But this is the key position in the game. After knight d4, queen e5, you're already in trouble. And in this position, queen f1 is just a blunder because you're giving up your queen side. At least here, your queen's defending these 2 pawns. But queen f1 was too passive. This position is like close to loss, but maybe it's not. But this position is definitely losing. All your pawns are hanging now. So now you're losing. And his knight's coming in to f3 also, which would also probably make you losing. Good game from your opponent. Does f4 save your position? The engine actually prefers f4 to what you did, but it still says it's bad for you. He could take with the rook, and then that's better for him. Or he could just take this way. You would take with the knight, and once again, he would take this. And you're a pawn down with a bad pawn structure. But the engine says this is better than what you did, but it's also not good. But it is better than g3. And queen f1 is that's the real culprit here. You could play like queen g4 or c3. Yeah, after queen f1, c5, then you were lost the rest of the game. He didn't let up. Yeah, typically you don't want to play a move like queen f1. It's in the long run, it doesn't work out. But it's weird. You were obviously worried about your king side for obvious reasons, and then you lost your pawns on the queen side. The truth hurts.